Sometimes I feel that it can be a little bit confusing to know which path to follow, what to do. And I think that our listener at home sometimes struggles with that as well. So how do you learn to trust yourself and trust your intuition? Is this something that you've had to practice, or was that always something you were good at?
It's definitely something I've had to practice. Learning how to follow my intuition and actually trust my intuition has been a lifelong journey. I spent years questioning myself and years kind of kicking myself in the butt, so to speak. Like when I got that, feeling or an intuition and not following it. I have one of my favorite talks on YouTube is a talk about when I had a fire in 2011, and I'm sitting out on the deck. It's a beautiful sunny day. My kids are out playing. And all of a sudden, I get this download, this feeling of doom, and I sit up and I'm like, okay, just not my kids, right? So the next day I go about my business, get ready for the first day of school the next day, and I start getting all of these intuitions. Back up the computer, do this, do that, take the stuff out of the closet and put it downstairs. And I didn't listen to most of it. Did I back up the computer? Yes. But when I went to go put the hard drive in the kitchen drawer and my mind said, stop, go put it back in the bedroom, I didn't listen. I go, nah, it's fine here in the kitchen drawer, right? Well, the next day, the kitchen ended up being burnt to the ground, right? God. When I went to my closet, I'm standing there and I'm like, why do I feel like I want to move everything downstairs? This is ridiculous. Why would I move everything in the hallway closet downstairs? And then I closed the doors, and the hallway, again, lost the entire hallway. So I have to say, like, there's those moments in our life which teach us, like, okay, stop, stop and listen to your intuition. There's a reason why you're getting this information. Follow it. And that was a really pivotal moment for me, to where it really, kind of kickstarted me into, okay, that's it. I'm going to stop ignoring my intuition and really pay attention. And I really have from then on out.
Oh, I'm so glad that nobody was hurt in that fire, that you didn't have to learn it in that harsh of a way. But I do believe that, our guides will give us subtle little pointers along the way. And sometimes they'll just go, all right, you need a kick in the butt because you're not listening. And I feel that, thank you for sharing that story, because I think that unfortunately you had to go through that experience, but that you're able to save and educate and support a lot of other people. I do find it interesting for myself as well. Sometimes I'll proceed with something. Very often it's in a work environment and I just have anxiety. And then it turns out to be something that's a complete headache, or I don't want to do it, or it's deterring me from the things I was meant to do. Right. And it's funny how like, okay, I feel that I learned the lesson this time. I swear I got it,
Yeah. And will we stop in the future and listen to our body? Will we know that that's a no for us?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then how do we learn? And actually, one of the ways that we learn is through experience, like having these experiences over and over and over again teaches, like, oh, I should have listened to my gut. Oh, I should have listened to that little voice in my head. Yeah. Oh, when I heard turn right, I should have turned right. Like, it's those experiences that are really our best teacher, honestly.
Yeah. I think too, it's also about being brave, and it's about, like, I don't know your family, and they probably just go, oh, there's mom again, doing her crazy thing. But, it might have been weird for you to like start shifting everything, to the basement. And what I find sometimes is that sometimes we look like complete lunatics, where we just know, no, I need to just do this thing. And for our listener at home, there's a clear ability called clear cognizance. And I personally think a lot of people have it and they don't know. And it's basically when things drop in and we just know the truth. And I'd like to hear your perspective, Liz, because I think that when people just know stuff innately, they have that intuition, they feel the need to justify it, right? And we go, wait a minute, this would be complete crazy behavior for me to start moving everything from the hallway into the basement for no reason other than I just feel like it.
Right. Right. And when we moved everything down, if nothing ended up happening, what would we say? Right.
Yeah.
But
yeah. How long does it stay down there?
I think that there needs to be more conversation around the skill clear cognizance, right? It's clear knowing. It's just knowing things. You just know. And how often in society are we taught, like, oh, don't say, I know, right?
Yeah.
Society would rather hear, I feel, because I feel is nicer to hear than I think or I know. So claircognizance was always put on the back burner, but I think it's been something natural for millennia, right?
Yeah,
And I
it
think it's
has.
coming more online now. I think it's being talked about more. It's one of my major clairs is claircognizance, on top of clairvoyance and clairsentience. And the other ones are opening up. And I think it's really important, like, and learning how to differentiate between, okay, what is this clear knowing that I'm receiving? And then what's my ego, right? Because that's really the conversation is how do I tell, like, what's me and what's guidance,
Yeah.
right? And I
Yeah.
think one of the easy ways I could tell is like, okay, is it trying to tell me what to do? Is this something negative? Does it sound like my ego? I think getting inquisitive and curious and really, working with your claircognizance, that clear knowing that you're getting and sort of differentiating between, okay, that really sounded like my ego, the ego's in charge right now, or no, that was guidance because that's coming from a place of purity and doesn't have any agenda behind it, right?